This looks like something you might read about in an industrial fiction book, but it's a real thing called a Bessemer Converter. It's named after a man called Henry Bessemer, who invented what became known as the Bessemer process, where steel could be produced on a mass scale from molten iron. Steel was initially expensive to make, especially for things like cannons, and inspired by this, Bessemer started to find a way of producing steel at large quantities. And so the Bessemer process was created, which started off with putting iron in a hot furnace until it becomes molten. After this, the molten metal is taken and put into this unit behind me, a Bessemer converter, which can handle the heat that comes from it. The trouble was that iron has lots of impurities, such as silicon and carbon, and so to remove them, air was blasted into the unit, which made them oxidize and separate. The oxidized impurities ended up as a waste product called slag, which essentially refers to the waste material that forms when ores are smelted. It's shaped a bit like a giant egg or pear, and could be tilted at an angle so that the molten metal could flow in and out of the converter. Now, the Bessemer converter and the Bessemer process had a lot of advantages. Firstly, it allowed steel to be produced on a mass scale more cheaply than before, and it also allowed production speeds to become a lot faster. But there was a few drawbacks. It couldn't remove all the phosphorus, which was one of the impurities of the iron, and the quality of steel that was produced wasn't always great. The Bessemer converter here is outside Kelham Island Museum in Sheffield in the UK. In the 1880s, Sheffield was producing a ton of steel, and in fact, it accounted for a quarter of the total output of steel in the country. This Bessemer converter is no longer used, and was decommissioned in 1974. Nevertheless, it stands here as an important reminder of the contribution that the Bessemer process made to the steel-making industry.